Welcome to the Spiritual Principles Made Practical podcast. I'm your host, Scott Friedman, and today we're going to talk about measuring congruence, right? Because that means we're going to take note of when our inspiration and desires are in alignment with our thinking, and that is in alignment with our behavior. So, anytime that we're not creating consciously in a way that flows through our mind and our body and our behavior, then we know that there's a lack of congruence, right? So congruence means everything's lined up and there's no conflict anywhere. And conversely, if there isn't a match between our desires, our inspiration, and our thinking and behavior, then we know that that's the case. And so we can make a response to that, right? So in my case, it's and that's part of my practice of saying that the solution to every problem is to have a greater acceptance of what's true. And what's true is that I have areas in my life where I'm very congruent and my thinking and my inspiration and my behavior all line up. And I have areas in my life where I'm not congruent, right? And one of the areas where I'm not congruent is accepting my value that I offer. And the reason that I know that is that the world isn't beating a path to my door to be coached on identifying and implementing win-win solutions as a means of feeling more connected, more at peace, and more at one with all things. And I mean, it's very clear that that's not part of my physical world experience. And so when that happens, the thing to do is to dig in and move some of those unconscious conflicting thoughts into the conscious realm, right? And also to try to see, and in doing so, weaken their strength. So in my case, in my meditation this morning, as I was working on getting ready for this podcast, what I noticed is that, the most debilitating thought I have in conflict with the world beating a path to my door and ready to pay pretty much any price uh, for for peace and energy and health and wisdom and solutions and happiness and joy and love to be experienced consciously. Like why, I mean, why wouldn't you why wouldn't you value that and have your behavior reflect that value, right? Is that I have the thought that everybody already has all the wisdom within themselves and they don't need me to tell them what they already know and have. And as I accept that thought, I go, well, yeah, that's true. And they're not conscious of that thought. They're not conscious of their wisdom. They're not accepting of their wisdom. They're not utilizing their wisdom for their upliftment and benefit of both themselves and other people. So while it is true that I can't share with anybody anything of value that they don't already have because I already possess everything of value, what I can do is I can help them become conscious and accepting and aware of that and utilize that so that their behavior matches up with it. Because what's for sure is that there's a vast number, like the majority verging on all of us, have physical world circumstances that don't line up with our highest and most uplifting thoughts. And so that says that this idea that there are conflicting thoughts is and that there's value in understanding those thoughts and weakening the power of those thoughts uh, is really beneficial to the individual and everybody else. And so, in my case, I'm going, okay, well, you know what? As I've been accepting these thoughts that are responsible for the lack of congruence that I'm experiencing in my life at this moment, then I see my behavior start to change. I go, oh, well, you know what? I'm gonna hire help. I'm worthy, and my message has enough value that I'm gonna hire help to reach the people that are wanting what I have to offer. And so then I've just started that just a couple months ago, and as we go along in the process, it's like there's parts of me at times that I see, oh, there's resistance to benefiting from that help and stuff. And I go, okay, yeah, no, I accept that there's resistance. what am I gonna, what's the thought that's the cause of that resistance? And which is like, it's not gonna work anyway. You've tried to get help in the past and you've sabotaged it every step of the way, and you'll sabotage it again. And I go, well, yeah, so I go through this conversation, right? And I say, yeah, well, that's true, and in terms of the past, but the difference is that now when it's coming up, I'm going, I'm going to slow down. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to work through this, and I'm not going to just uh, run away like I have in the past when when I've employed people to try to help me, and when they've told me to do things, it was like I just refused to do it, said this isn't going to work anyway, and just quit. And this time I'm not. This time it's like, okay, no, I'm gonna use that block as an opportunity to slow down and to be more aware of what that resistance is, to accept the existence of the resistance, as well as my choice of whether or not I'm going to let that resistance stop me. And once I get to the point of being aware of the resistance and asking the question, am I going to let that resistance stop me? I'm home free. Then it's like, no way am I letting that stop me. I'm plowing through this, and it may not be perfect, but I'm going to do the best I can, and I'm moving forward, and that's that, and that's how I'm going to do it. So I feel I'm making progress there in creating that greater alignment, right? So it's like being aware that the alignment isn't there because I'm not seeing the world, saying, yeah, no, I want your coaching, I want your leadership to help me identify and implement the wisdom that I have and the power that I have to create a better life and world for myself and those I care about. That there are people out there that want that, and it's a matter of just um, healing the resistance within me that's reflected to the resistance within them, to allowing that to happen and to have congruence in between my inspiration, my thinking, and my behavior. So anyway, that's what that is. And so I offer thought coaching, right? And kind of we all go through it together, right? Where we identify the resistance, identify the thought that is the source of that resistance, investigate that thought, allow that thought to be, and understand that and accept the fact that we have a choice to act on that thought or not, and choose to act on the uplifting thoughts and choose not to act on the fearful, defeatist, this isn't going to work for me thoughts, don't waste my time thoughts, just give up. So, anyway, that's it. If you want some of that coaching, it's available to you here. You can contact me at scottfriedman40 at gmail.com, SCOTTFRIEDMAN40 at gmail.com. My books are available on Amazon. You can reach them, links to them through my website, www.thoughtcoachingbyscott.com. And if you want to share your win-win circumstances and solutions that you've had, email me at that same address, and we'll set it up, because example is the most powerful form of leadership. And so if we want to live in a world where win-win thinking is dominant, we need to share our examples of win-win thinking that we participated with. So don't hesitate to contact me on that. Okay, let's go forward and create greater congruence between our highest and best and most uplifting, loving, joyful inspirations and our thoughts and behavior to make it a reality in all dimensions. All right, bye for now.